Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is D-Man coming back at it again with another YouTube video, and today we're gonna recap, the Week 14 scores, the Week 14 games that were played around the NFL today. We have one more game played tomorrow, and that's gonna be the Ravens and the Browns, I believe. So, one more game tomorrow night. That should be pretty exciting. But we're gonna go ahead and recap some of these games that were played today, or I should say, all the games that were played today. First up, Cardinals and Giants. Pretty much an easy win for the Cardinals here. I believe the only score for the Giants was Dion Lewis. I believe he had a rushing touchdown, former Titan, so good to see there, but nowhere close to to getting the win against the Cardinals, as they pretty much roll on against the Giants. So moving on here, Broncos Panthers. The Broncos get the win by 5. I'm pretty sure the Panthers were down 12. They scored late. Cut it to 5, but they were never able to take the lead to win the game. So Broncos were able to hold off the Panthers and get the win by 5. So the Titans and Jaguars. Derrick Henry always has a monster game, as you can see. 26 carries, 215 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He always has a monster game. When we play the second time we played Jaguars, every year, I believe the last 2 years, he had like 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. 2 years ago, I believe a year ago, he had like 260 yards or something like that, and a touchdown or 2 touchdowns. But anytime that we play the second time we play the Jaguars of the year, it's normally Derrick Henry. He just plays insane. So yeah, he had a monster game. Tannehill still, nice stat line for him too. 212 yards, 2 touchdowns. A.J. Brown, fantastic game as well. Above 100 yards with a touchdown. That flea flicker was pretty nice to start off the game, but Derrick Henry just took over that game to get to 215 yards. And I believe he can still get the 2,000 yard mark, rushing mark. I believe he has around like 1,500 yards or so, or like maybe 1,600. And we have 3 games to go. All he has to do is get like 155 yards a game. He has to average 155 yards a game, which he's definitely capable of doing that, especially these next 3 teams that we're playing. Not so good Lions team, a weak Packers defense that they cannot stop opposing teams' rushers. So those 2 games are pretty. He could definitely get above 150 yards in both of those games, and then you got the Texans, who are probably going to be they're already pretty much quitting at this point of the year. So pretty much by week 16, the Texans aren't even going to be trying to play at all. So hopefully Derrick Henry can get that 2,000 yard mark. I've been hoping and praying that he'll get that by the end of this year, because if he does that, I think he definitely deserves talks in the MVP talk. So just a monster. And if y'all haven't seen that last video, I talked about him getting that new 95 overall card in Zero Chill, and I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna go to bed here shortly, wake up in the morning, get a gameplay video on him, and hopefully he's a monster. And Jonnu Smith as well, he's getting a new card at 92 overall. So pretty cool to see there, as the Titans roll on there 31-10 against the Jags. Moving on here to the Chiefs and Dolphins, which is actually pretty entertaining. Dolphins were up early. I believe they're up the Chiefs took over there in the second quarter, but they were up for a good bit of, but I think they were up like 10-0 there to start the game, and then Chiefs had 2 touchdowns in that second quarter. They rolled on in the third, but the Dolphins fought back here in the fourth to make it a pretty interesting game. It came down to an onside kick there at the end, but the Chiefs recovered and they went on to win the game. But Mahomes here doesn't show, but he had 3 picks. I think that's the first time that's happened to him ever. So pretty interesting stat line there. He still had 393 yards. Kelsey had another monster game. This dude is unbelievable. I think he might go down as the greatest tight end of all time. What he's doing this year is insane. He's putting up wide receiver numbers at tight end. I mean, it's just unbelievable what he's been doing this year. So, Chiefs hold off the Dolphins. That's pretty big for the Dolphins too, because they're still trying to get in the playoffs, and this loss kind of hurt them. Yeah, I mean, and then also Chiefs with the big win here, and we'll talk about the Steelers losing tonight as well too. That gives them the #1 overall spot right now, and if they can hold on to that, they'll get a first-round bye. So that's pretty important too. Moving on into the postseason. So moving on here, Cowboys Bengals. Didn't really watch this game much. Zeke with another poor game. I have him in fantasy. He hadn't been able to do anything these past couple weeks. I believe last week he had like a 11, 12 point game, and that's his only relevant game that he's had in the past like 8 weeks or so. But Dak Prescott, the absence of Dak Prescott to this team, you can tell how much of a need that Dak Prescott was for this team. But Andy Dalton played very good today. What I mean by that is, like, Zeke plays really good when he has Dak Prescott. It's just because when you're able to throw the ball, it opens it up for the run game. You can't just be one-dimensional and run the ball every time because everyone knows what you're going to do. But Andy Dalton played very good today. He had 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, in his return to Cincinnati. So big win for the Cowboys to keep their playoff hopes alive. But with the win today for Washington, I think they're going to come up just short. I just hate it for Dak Prescott. I love him, but that team really needs him. You can tell. Moving on here, Texans and Bears. This was a slaughtering performance here from the Bears. I'm actually pretty surprised. I thought the Texans were going to win this game. I actually had them picked to win. But the Bears definitely proved me wrong here. Mitchell Trubisky looked really good too. 267, 3 touchdowns. David Montgomery broke out that big long run there close to the beginning of the game. Allen Robinson had a big game as well. I mean, Watson got a feel for him. They traded away probably one of the best wide receivers in the NFL right now for a bag of chips. You just got a feel for Deshaun Watson there, losing his #1 target and getting nothing back, but literally nothing back. That's just tough. Yeah, nothing else to say about the Texans, man. It's just a struggle town for them. Vikings and Bucks. Now this one was, I really didn't pay attention to this one as much as I did the other games, but I saw that Dalvin Cook had a decent game, 102 yards and a touchdown. Nothing much to say. I really didn't watch this game as much as I did the others. Tom Brady looks like he had a pretty decent game. So yeah, it looks like the Bucks just went ahead and won by 12 there to go to 8-5. Moving on here to Colts and Raiders. This is one I watched until it kind of, the Colts kind of blew it open there in the second half. It was close at halftime. What was that? 20-14. So pretty close game at half, and then they kind of blew it open there in the fourth quarter, outscoring them 17-7. But this was a game that the Titans desperately needed the Raiders to win. Colts are very good, guys. The Colts are a very good team. Jonathan Taylor had a monster day, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. T.Y. Hilton is slowly coming back, playing really well. Phillip Rivers still playing really well. Derek Carr had an okay game. Aguilar with a touchdown, but the Colts just too much for the Raiders. Phillip Rivers was just absolutely slicing this Raiders defense. So that was tough to watch as a Titans fan, because if the Raiders were able to win that game, it doesn't clinch us a playoff spot, but it's dang near a playoff spot for us, because the Colts have to play, I believe, the Steelers next week, and we have to play the Lions. So we're in a much better situation than they are right now. So, and we still control our own destiny. So if we can just win these next 2 out of 3 games, I think we're in the playoffs for sure. So and that will put us at 11 wins too. And if we don't make the playoffs with 11 wins, then hey, it is what it is. So moving on here, the Jets and Seahawks. Nothing much to say, but just look at the score here, 40-3. Russell Wilson played amazing against them. I believe he didn't even play the fourth quarter, and he still had 4 touchdowns. So pretty good game from him. Chris Carson too with touchdown. DK, another touchdown for him. DK, incredible receiver here for the Seahawks. Russell Wilson's #1 target. DK's an absolute monster. So is A.J. Brown. Them two out of Ole Miss, man. That deadly combination back in Mississippi. But they were easily able to roll on over the Jets. The Jets moved to 0-13. Can they do it? Can they go winless the whole year? I'm excited to see. They could have easily done it against the Raiders, but the Raiders were able to pull, well, I should say the Jets just sold that game because pretty much they sent about 9 people on the last play of the game. But moving on here to the Washington and San Francisco. Washington was able to win this game. Big win for them to move to 6-7. I believe it takes like a 2-game lead in their division. So pretty big win for them. McKissick, solid day. I have him in fantasy. He was okay. I needed him to get in the end zone one time, and I've been a little bit more comfortable. I was able to win, though, in the fantasy, so that's good. But big play from Chase Young, too. He had a fumble recovery touchdown. I believe it was like 40 yards out. He was moving. So that was cool to see Chase Young get his first touchdown. I believe it was his first touchdown as a rookie. So that's pretty cool to see. Jalen Hurts here. This is awesome. I love to see young quarterbacks excel, and Jalen Hurts did just that. In his first start, he knocks the Saints. They were at the number 1 seed. Now they're not. The Packers actually took the number 1 seed away from them now, and the Eagles were able to beat the Saints, which was very awesome to see. Not saying I just wanted the Saints to lose, but I love Jalen Hurts. Miles Sanders, big day for him. 2 touchdowns, 115 yards. Hurts, a very nice, impressive first start for him as well. They were able to win, and the Eagles, Giants, Washington, they're all in that same division, trying to fight for a playoff spot. And the Eagles right now, they got to hit. Washington has to lose these last 2 games, or last 2 out of 3 games, and Eagles got to pretty much win out to have a chance to get in, because I think Washington's on a roll right now, so I don't see them losing anytime soon. So Eagles have to, they've got to win out pretty much and hope for Washington to, catch a couple L's towards the end of the year. But moving on here to the Packers and Lions. I love Aaron Rodgers, my favorite quarterback in the league right now. I have him in fantasy. He's been playing amazing. I believe he had a rushing touchdown too on top of his 3 passing touchdowns. He's a beast. Or maybe he did just have, let me check. No, he had a rushing touchdown. So he had 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. Devontae Adams, again, another amazing game from him. Aaron Jones as well. Not a bad game from the Lions either. And Packers and Lions, that's always a good game, just like, us and the Texans, us and the Colts. Always such a good game. But same here with the Lions. They stuck in there till the very end. As you can see, the box score here, pretty even throughout the game, except for the third quarter there. But Aaron Rodgers and company were able to get that win and move on to 10-3 and take the number 1 seed away from the New Orleans Saints here. So, and the last game of the day, did not watch 1 second of it. Looks like the Chargers were able to win against the Falcons. Let me check these stats out here. Herbert, again, another impressive performance from Justin Herbert. Calvin Ridley had a good game too. 9 catches for Austin Eckler. Dang, he must have had a pretty good day in fantasy. And he had 79 yards on the ground, 67 yards carrying. What did he have? 23 yards. If he had a touchdown, that would have been pretty big. Yeah, very good day from Austin Eckler. Justin Herbert continues to, excel. He's really good, guys. Justin Herbert is really, really good. And then the last game of the day was here's a Thursday night game. I'll talk about it right quick. I did watch this game. I just needed a little bit more out of Robert Woods to, get me a little bit more comfortable, in fantasy. But I was able to win, like I said. But he only had like 8 points. But Goff, decent game. Akers had a monster game. One of the best. It definitely hit. Like, I think they were comparing numbers with him and Jerome Bettis. Just an impressive performance from him. Almost 30 carries on the night, 171 yards. Awesome day from him. And same with Jared Goff. He had a fantastic day as well on that Thursday night. And then tonight, the Steelers lose again to the 10-3 Bills, or 9-3 now, 10-3 Bills. Are the Steelers overrated? Y'all let me know in the comments below. Are the Steelers overrated? I don't think they are. I think they've just been they've been injured, guys. They've, you know, their whole offensive line, I'm pretty sure they had all backups in there, so gotta give them a little bit of slack there. Cut them a little slack there, because playing with a bunch of backup linemen, it's pretty tough to win that way. But I mean, the Bills played just because of that, you can't take away the performance from Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Absolutely slicing and dicing that defense. What I was watching tonight was pretty impressive from Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Absolutely, you know, like I said, slicing and dicing that defense of the Steelers, which Steelers defense is really good, so that was very impressive. Zach Moss, you know, 43 yards, Big Ben, 2 touchdowns. Nothing really here. You know, the Steelers offense was not really that good at all tonight, so Bills were just able to, you know, just too much for them, I guess. 26-15, they win that game, and that's really pretty much going to do it for the video. Very excited tonight. It is 11 o'clock where I am at. So probably going to go ahead and go to bed right now. Wake up in the morning, get a little gameplay video on Derrick Henry and Jonnu Smith. And yeah, it feels like Christmas Eve again. We had Steve McNair coming, and it felt like Christmas Eve that night. Feels like Christmas Eve again. We're getting Derrick Henry and Jonnu Smith. Oh, baby. That's awesome. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for the recap. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. And yeah, till next time, I'll see y'all.